Well, again, welcome, and I think it's still good morning. We're just going to use the microphone since we have some folks online who are joining us as well. So Rick and I got this idea several years ago. Some of you know that my background is with Science of Mind magazine, and we were getting ready for the 90th anniversary of Science of Mind magazine. And honestly, I wanted to leave something more than party hats. So we created this opportunity with our friends Temple Hayes and Ari Boris to do a gratitude cruise. And it was such a wonderful experience. We welcomed more than 200 people from all over the world. All like-minded beings came together, heard some inspirational messages. Rick did some animal totem work, as well as some psychic work. Michael Gott was our musical guest. And it was just a wonderful coming together. And so that is the energy that we bring to this event, to the Spirit at Sea Gratitude Cruise. So we're basically just going to walk through the flyer. We're very informal. We welcome your questions on Zoom or in the room as we go along. So it's a 7-day cruise. We're leaving out of San Diego, and we will have a hotel with a special rate for those who want to travel in and spend the night before and just be in San Diego. And then we will set sail on Holland America's line, the Koningsdam. And you don't know either one of us real well at this point, but this guy you'll soon come to know as Recess Rick. So he gets to talk about the fun stuff.
I'm going to talk about the fun stuff. so, like David said, the Koningsdam is a ship that's named the Koningsdam. It means the king. And what I see, you can go to YouTube and you can just search for the Koningsdam Holland America line, and there's some great videos from other different travel agencies and things like that. So don't pay attention to that, but they show the ship. There's one that we watched and it was an hour long, and they showed everything about this ship, and it's an amazing ship. I've been on probably 20 cruises myself, and about 6 of them with David. I used to be a flight attendant for Frontier Airlines. We used to get great deals. So they used to call me and say, can you leave on a 7-day cruise tomorrow? It's only $99. I can't stay in Denver for $99 for 7 days. So I've been on many different ships. This ship looks gorgeous. And like he said earlier in his sermon, that it's a music ship, and they have all these different venues with different types of music, classical music, blues, like he said. And also they have a great theater. It's very immersive. It's a theater in the round, and they have great performers. So that's extra. That's all you get as part of the cruise. And when you book this through Michelle, through the Gratitude Cruise reservation number, tell them that we sent you, that Dr. David sent you, and we will have a special event just for our group also on the cruise. Also, if you've cruised recently, all the cruises are starting a lot of specialty dining areas. These are extra, just a little bit extra, like maybe $30, but you don't have to do that. There are 5 dining options, including 24-hour room service, that are included. So it's if you look at it and it says that there's all these options, yes, they have all these options, but you don't need to take those options if you don't want to. But if you want to have something that's more amazing, more special, the extra prices for some of the dining is good too. We usually do something like sushi. A sushi bar is usually extra. Yeah, lobster rolls, things like that.
So I have to tell you something about 24-hour room service. Yay. And when we were on the last cruise, the Science of Mind cruise, I called, and we had an afternoon or we had something, and I was just going to get some chicken wings because, if you're not eating 24/7, you're not really on a cruise. So I called room service, and this beautiful being spoke as much English as I spoke their language. And I communicated that I wanted chicken wings, but apparently I communicated that I wanted 5 orders of chicken wings. So I was good for the week. So it is unlimited, it is all included, And yeah, room service is good. So just a moment about the Spirit at Sea part then. One of the lessons we learned last time around is we really wanted everybody to be together, and we really wanted everybody to get their money's worth, and on and on and on. Nobody was concerned about that except us. And the way that outpictured was extensive over programming. So this time, we're going to have sessions with the people who are going to be there. Temple, myself, Rick, Karen will be our musical guest through all of the sessions, as well as one or two other Unity ministers. So it is all optional. We're not, you try making Unity people do anything. So it's all optional. But as Rick said, it is important when you call to please give them my name. Tell them Dr. David sent you. And the reason for that, as Rick said, is we're going to have a gathering just of our group. Anybody is always welcome. But the intention is just for us to be able to be together to share the experience. And when you call before February 28th, you'll see on there the second paragraph under the pictures, reserve your space with a fully refundable deposit by the end of February, and you'll be invited to join us for a private luncheon at one of the specialty restaurants, the Pinnacle Grill. So that is our gift to you folks who want to jump in early. So what that looks like then, you see the agenda for the cruise. We'll have a couple of sessions, a couple of options on our at sea days. We may do something before, one of the ports we get in at noon. So we may do an hour beforehand. If you want to join in, great. If you want to sleep in or have your own breakfast and get ready for your day in port, that's perfect too. So that's really what we're talking about by way of the programming piece.
Yes, and now the ports. Do you want to hear more about the ports? So the first port is Cabo San Lucas. And we get in at 12 and we leave at 6. So there's not that much time, but Cabo San Lucas, if you've ever been there, is very quaint and it's wonderful, and they have wonderful food everywhere. And we can give you some hints on where to eat and places that we like. Yes. So yeah. Well, I can actually field that now. Susan just asked because we're talking about eating, and we do eat on the cruise, and so she asked if there was a plan for exercise. So, and there is, and you'll usually see me if you're up early, like when the sun comes up, I'll be up on top of deck with they have a jogging track and a walking track. So I'll be doing that for about an hour, which is about 4 miles. So that's what I like to do. But they have a gym, they have a beautiful gym. They also have a spa. And this spa is a thermal spa, and they have a lie down shower with all these things that you can have happen to you. It's amazing. Whoop, shouldn't have gone there. But it's a beautiful ship and the beautiful amenities. So Cabo San Lucas, and that is tendered in, just so you know, there's 2 ports, the Cabo port and Laredo, Mexico, are tendered in. So that means that there's a smaller ship, smaller boat that takes us to the port because the ships can't get in that close. But in La Paz, we just walk off the ship. So just to let you know, because, why was I telling you that? It doesn't say that here. Yeah, just by way of information, and it's wheelchair accessible, but limited. It's because of getting off the ship into another ship. Okay, but we've actually seen people, and we've been with people that have been in wheelchairs that had no problem doing that. Okay, so anyway, so Cabo, and then La Paz we have not been to, and Laredo, I believe it's called Laredo. Does anybody know the proper spelling or the pronunciation? Laredo? Yeah, so, and they're all Spanish ports. The name La Paz translates as peace. The first Spanish conquistadors landed here in 1535, yet it took them nearly 200 years to build the first settlement due to resistance from the indigenous people. But the modern La Paz, however, certainly lives up to its name of peace. Have you been there before? To Loretto. Nice. So, and what was your experience? Was it wonderful? Yes. Yes. So, Lou and Don are saying that they've been to Laredo and they loved it. And they have a Malecon there that you can walk. Is that true? Do you remember? Yeah. Anyway, so two of the ports, I'm sure. Let's see. Um, anyway, I'm going to tell you about because I stole this from the Holland America website, and it tells about the ports there. There's a new whale museum in La Paz that I want to go to. It opened in 2016, explains the differences between the 6 whale species that migrate to Mexico's Pacific coast every winter. And also on this cruise, we will probably, I'd say there's like a 98% chance that we're going to see the gray whales as we are cruising, because it's that season too, okay, January. So that, and there's also, like as in any cruise ship, there's a lot of different, what do they call them? Shore excursions. Shore excursions to take that are approved by the cruise, or you can go off on your own if you want to do that too.
Or you can just stay on the ship and enjoy it.
Yes, and you don't have to go off. Sometimes we stay on the ship because there's not as many people on the ship and we just enjoy the ship. Like if we've already been to, I've been to Cabo a few times. So maybe when we go to Cabo, we'll just stay on the ship and enjoy the hot tubs and the pools. There's 2 large pools, there's 5 large hot tubs. All the amenities are amazing. So, and if, I'm sure if most of you have either been on cruises, if you haven't, it's an amazing thing. We love it. And they say you either love it or you hate it. There's nothing in between. But all of our friends love it. So hopefully you'll join us.
So let's talk about pricing for just a moment. Our colleague, our friend Ari Boris, has been in the cruise industry for 30 or 40 years, and he just does amazing work. And he's so we're so happy to be able to work together again. And Ari is going to be joining us for our next meeting, if anybody would like to ask and speak questions of him directly on Zoom. And we were going to do that on February 5th, but we've got a lot happening on the 5th. So we're going to push that out just a little bit. Give us a moment and we'll get back with you on the scheduling of that. So with regard to the fares then, it starts at $10.99 per person for an inside double occupancy room. And so, again, if you've cruised before, you've got lots of options and lots of choices. Inside, outside, window, veranda, big deck, penthouse. You can invest as much or as little as you'd like in a room. There is a single option. And I don't have that in front of us. I don't know that we've calculated that just yet. But if you call that number and speak with Michelle or any of her colleagues, they're all up to speed. It's all on everybody's computers. You can ask about the single supplement if that's of interest to you. We also negotiated a special rate on, they call it HALS, H-A-L, which is the Have It All upgrade. And that includes, hang on. Oh, you know what? Maybe we don't have it on here. But yes, it includes Wi-Fi. It includes a soft drink package, not an alcohol package. And it's basically a $450 value for an additional $150. So we feel pretty good about that as well. And again, if you're thinking about it, we would encourage you to book by February 28th. Again, that deposit is fully refundable up to, let's see, we're sailing in January, up to next October 1st. So if life happens, if anything shifts, you get 100% of your deposit back. So we've been blathering on a bit. Oh, the one other thing I wanted to share with you, everything Rick said, I agree. Love the food, love the amenities. They have, it's a mid-class ship. So it's about 3,200 people, so it won't be too overwhelming. And in their atrium, Holland America is one of the only lines that does this. They have a retractable roof over their atrium. So when it's gorgeous, as we trust it will be most of our days in Mexico, it's open and you get to be outside in the pool and the bar and everything that you see on the commercials. And if the weather gets a little iffy, they simply close the roof and then it becomes an atrium and all the space is usable. And they do movie nights every night that are included, and they have concessions at all the restaurants around the pool where the big screen is, with popcorn, hot dogs, hamburgers, nachos, all of that health food. And once again, it's free. Yay! So can we answer any questions for you? Linda, please. They accommodate as much as they can. I know they do gluten. I know they do kosher. I know they do vegan, vegetarian. So yes, we'd be happy to work with you.
And the last cruise I was on, I am allergic to garlic. And if anybody knows, almost everything has garlic in it these days. So I told them the first night at dinner, and they followed me around and saying, this is what you can have. They didn't say you can't have that. They said, this is what we have for you. That's what they'll do. So yes, because Linda asked for the Zoomies, Linda asked about dietary restrictions, if they are accommodating to that, and they are.
Yes, if you would repeat the questions, that would be helpful.
Yep. It's anybody anywhere in the world who pulled up cruises in Mexico in January. And the other thing that I would share with you.
What was the question, please? What was the question?
The question was, if there are 200 of us and the ship holds 3,200, where do the other 3,000 people come from? And they come from all over the world. It's open to the public. So we can grow as much as we want to grow as the Spirit at Sea Gratitude Cruise. We'd love to sell out the whole ship, so please take an extra flyer. So that's how that happens. The other thing that we wanted to share with you as part of the Spirit at Sea Gratitude Cruise is we have reserved the entire meeting space. There are 2 large meeting spaces, and we have reserved the entire thing for Spirit at Sea. So it'll be our speakers, our energy, our icebreakers. We also have not the massive theater, but the medium-sized theater reserved as well. So hopefully a lot of attention to detail. Please. Yes. So the question is, will there be other Unity members joining us? So yes. So centers, yeah. So Reverend Temple Hayes, Reverend Dr. Temple Hayes was the spiritual leader at First Unity Spiritual Campus in St. Petersburg, Florida for 15 years. She recently relocated to California. I think she's at Unity of Ventura. So she's inviting people from both of her communities. Reverend Heidi, who's also going to be joining us, is Unity of somewhere in California. It's not Sacramento, that's Rev Kev. So the short answer is yes. And feel free to share with any other Unity communities. We're sharing it with the International Board, so everyone is welcome. Yeah, you bet. Absolutely. Susan wants to invite her sister to join us. Yes. Linda. Yeah, I'm not sure. Linda's question was, what about the Unity group in Colorado that she thought involved about 10 churches? I don't know about the churches per se. I am a member of the Unity Colorado Ministers group, and I've already shared the flyer with them to share with all of their churches. So yeah, yep. May I ask online first? Any questions online? Penny, you're looking pensive. Are you already in? We can set the intention. Yes, please, Forrest.
How can we get a brochure? Or is there a number, or I'm online, I'm looking at the cruise thing, but how would I find the particular information on the web?
Yep. So two or three things. You can go directly to the Holland America website and yeah, just Google Mexico in January. And we're told that this cruise is going to sell out quickly because they used to offer these every week for like 3 or 4 months. And as of January 24, this is the only 7-day cruise all year. So they anticipate that it'll sell out quickly. So you can look at it at Holland America. Alternatively, you can email Kayla at thank you, unity at unityrockies.org. We have it in PDF form. I think we also attached a link to the last newsletter, to the last e-blast. So you can look on that link and just click through. And if it makes it easier, just let me give you this number for our travel agent partner. Her name is Michelle, and the number is 800 658 6869. And you bet.
And it's on the flyer too. We'll just make sure you get flyers.
It
Yeah.
is 800 we should have started there. Does everybody have flyers? Sorry. 800 658 6869. And what are you going to tell her? Dr. David sent you. Please, online.
Hi. So I've been calling, or I called last week, to get some information, and Michelle was awesome. And she sent me an email with some ideas. The question I have, is there a room block that is specific to us in a certain area, or can we just look at the whole ship and find a room?
The short answer is the latter. There's no particular room block because folks have different preferences and so on and so forth. So yeah, go wherever you'd like, whatever speaks to your heart, whatever speaks to your budget. And we will make all of the group events very well known, and we'll have our own gathering spot and so forth. So yeah, you can get a cabin, whatever suits you. Susan. Yeah, good question. So Susan is speaking to the single occupancy, double occupancy, and being at this moment, if I'm hearing you correctly, being a single person, and how might I connect with a roommate, and what's the process, and what does that look like, and how does all that happen, right? Is that fair? Yeah, and how do you... I understand. Yeah, I don't know. That might be a question for Michelle with regard to, you know, the single occupancy rate. And then, yeah, I don't know.
We could even roommate matching. We could even form that here.
Or maybe we create our own Facebook group, and maybe that's a question for the group. So the short answer is we don't have an answer right now, but we've got some good options. Please, Marlene. Yes, it is K-O-N. I'm sorry, I'm spelling the name of the ship. K-O-N-I-N-G-S-D-A-M. Koningsdam. It's Holland America. It's Dutch.
And I was just on the Holland America website just yesterday, and the way to find this cruise is to search for Mexico cruises, and then it'll bring them all up, and you're going to have to scroll down because it's next year. So they have all the cruises that are going to Mexico soon, and then it's next year. So it's at one of the last ones at the bottom. It's not the last one, but it's like the second to last one. And then you can click on that. And I will tell you, there's not that much about the ship on there, which I was surprised. That's why I told you, if you want some information, good information about the ship and to see the ship, go to YouTube and just put in the ship's name. Yeah. Yes.
The other thing that I would just contextually offer, if you are searching on Holland America, this cruise will come up at a slightly reduced rate. And as you can imagine, along with the speakers and the musicians and the conference room and the meeting rooms and all of that, there are costs involved in that. So that's why we're encouraging you to use this 800 number. And then when you register that way, you will automatically have access to all of our events. We had a circumstance on the Science of Mind cruise where somebody went to, what line were we on? Norwegian, NCL. Somebody went to the site and booked on Norwegian because it was cheaper, but then they didn't have access to all of our programming and everything that we were offering. So that is the reason for that. What else? Anything in the room? Anything online? Please. No worries. How can we help you? What's on your mind? Yes, the question is, please share the price once again. So we've got a flyer here for you with all the information on it. Do you want to just? Oh, okay. Yeah. So right underneath the row of pictures, it says fares start at $10.99 per person inside double occupancy. So you can go, so they basically start at 1,100, and that's inclusive of everything that we're offering by way of the Spirit at Sea Gratitude Cruise. And and then you can take it any direction you'd like. Yes. Absolutely. All the programming is included in that $10.99 per person inside, double occupancy. And any price that you'll get from Michelle at that 800 number, that's all inclusive as well for all of the Gratitude Cruise events.
Can I ask the Zoomies, do you have the flyer? Do you have the flyers? It's in the e-blast. How can we get it to them?
Yeah, they can send Kayla an email, Unity.
Okay. So if you send Kayla an email and ask for the brochure, that would be great.
Please, Lou. Yeah. Yes, thank you. The question is, do you recommend coming in the night before? And yes, we all know what it's like, Colorado in January. It's glorious, and it could be a little iffy weather-wise. So yes, that's why we're making the option available for anybody who wants to travel in a night before. We don't have that nailed down yet, but we will have a hotel for those who want to travel in early, and then we will travel to the ship together. Yep. Yes, so the last line then at the bottom of the flyer, pricing subject to availability and does not include airfare, pre-departure hotel night, that's what we were just talking about, ground transfers, travel insurance, or government fees and taxes of about $140 per person, which are additional. So yeah, those are all other costs as well. I wanted to speak briefly about travel insurance. Oh, here comes a River. What? Oh, River wants to pay for everybody's cruise. Yay! No, I was just going to share with regard to travel insurance, you will have that option when it comes time for the final booking to make your final payment in October. And we strongly encourage you to get the travel insurance. So, as we just experienced this year, yes, our intention is grace and ease. And not any of us that I know of had control over the FAA and part of their system crashing. Not very many of us had control over Southwest Airlines tanking for a week over Christmas, right? So travel insurance will cover all of that. And Ari assures us that he had a couple of folks that had to make a claim on his last cruise, and they were reimbursed that quickly. So please. They will offer that to you. It's just a check-off box. Yep. Try to make it one-stop shopping. Ari requested that we introduce him as your cruise concierge. He's been in the cruise business for well over 40 years. He's on a cruise as we speak. It's what he does, and he does it very well. And he happens to be a like-minded New Thought person. So yeah, if anybody has any questions in the meantime, we can put you in direct touch with Ari. Any way we can answer your questions.
And so the deposit until October is only $350. So you have time to save. We all have time to save for that. Yeah. Anything else?
Anything else online? Yes, please. Yes. The question is, what other Unity ministries have been invited? So I sent this flyer, I think I shared, to all of the Unity ministers and churches in Colorado. And then Reverend Temple is inviting the Unity ministries in Florida as well as California. And then Reverend Heidi, who is also joining us, is inviting congregations in California. I do not. The question was specifically, do we know about Phoenix or Scottsdale? I do not. Yeah, that would be great. We would love it if you could forward that information. I also shared the information with my former community, with Unity on the Avenue in Denver. I also, the CSL ministers have the same gathering, Linda, that Unity ministers have in Colorado, and I shared the flyer with all of the CSL ministers in Colorado. So, you know, our thought is the more the merrier. If you want to share it individually, you don't need to check in with us. Everybody is welcome. The ship holds 3,200. Can we have an extension of your birthday party? Well, friends, I know that there's still some good food awaiting for those who haven't had a chance to snack yet. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your interest. Thank you for your patience. We're doing it, and everybody is welcome. Let's continue the conversation however you choose. Blessings. Have a great week. Thanks for being here. Thank you, Zoomies. Thank you, Penny.